some people have different goals, right? Like we when your career is on the trajectory that mine has been, or Velasquez or Habib, could you imagine if Habib never became the UFC champ? That belt means something because the prestige of the belt. Velasquez, myself, Rocco, those that means something to us to be considered the best fighter. A guy like Derrick, it means something more now because it's like 5 days away. But he didn't spend the last 3 years going, I want to be the UFC champion. He was like, I just like to fight, which makes him more dangerous, I believe.
Yeah, what do you, because everyone is expecting, like if you look at this fight on paper, you know, you're such a, you can obviously take a very, very hard shot. You're such a better wrestler than most guys who've ever fought in UFC. So what is it about this that makes you focus and go, I have to be really careful here because this is one that you could step into almost overconfident.
And be knocked out right away. That's why. The ability for him to put me to sleep is something I don't think I've ever dealt with in my career. I mean, I know I fought some heavy-handed guys, Rumble and Dan Henderson and Roy Nelson, and I fought a lot of heavy-handed guys, but I don't think anyone has possessed what Derrick does. It's a size. He's pretty fast for how big he is, and just this unwillingness to quit on himself that propels him to these late knockouts. But I do believe that if I fight my fight, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And I've been getting a lot of questions about how guys really struggle to keep Derrick down, right? Because they're like, well, they're like, well, when Derrick decides he wants to get up, he just like, enough of this and pushes him off. He tries to push me off like that. I'll armbar him or something. I don't know why these guys aren't doing that. Like, so I don't understand why guys don't attack his arms when he does that, because he literally tries to just bench press people off. You. And if you bench press somebody off of you that knows how to grapple, you're essentially saying, take my arm and bring it home with you.
You're a brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so if he tries to just bench press me off, he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble.
It's funny because right when you were walking in, we were talking about this, and I was about to bring up when he fought, and we were there live for that, when Derrick Lewis fought Roy Nelson.
Yes.
And Roy got him down a few times, and that was the perfect example. He had a hard time controlling him because he's got that weird body, Derrick, where you can think you could just mount him, but he'll give up his back, and next thing you know,
just stands
he
up.
does the wrong things, and he can get away with it.
Yeah, because he's so big.
He's a powerful guy.
He's a big, strong, explosive too.
Yes.
But the thing is, though, all that explosive action causes fatigue. That's why he gets tired, because everything he does is a big, explosive action. That's why, like a guy like Anthony Rumble, who was so good at knocking people out, but if you could withstand that, the actions are so big. Guys like myself, even John Jones, they're like small little incremental advancements. They're not massive, right? You don't see me pass a guard and just jump to the side. No, I just want to inch by inch get my leg out of the half guard to pass it. I don't want to just jump out of the guard. That takes a lot of energy. I want to go inch by inch by inch, wait for your reaction, and if you turn, then I'm just going to go mount you 3/4. I'm going to make you choose my next approach in terms of the grappling. And Roy took him down 8 times. He just did. Roy was so focused on trying to hold him that he did no damage. I don't mind him getting back up. I'll take him down again if I need to, but I want to get damage off on him.
So you have complete confidence that you can take him down when you need to take him down.
I've seen him beat some good wrestlers. He beat Jared Rochold, knocked him out, another NCAA All-American wrestler. I mean, he beat Roy Nelson, who's a fantastic grappler in his own right. I mean, he's done well against grapplers, but I don't even believe that. I think that if this is a stand-up fight, I think I can still win the fight in the stand-up. I may not knock him out like he could knock me out, but I believe that just skill for skill, I'm a better mixed martial artist.
Does it make you sad on any level? I mean, it's a voluntary thing, but that the light heavyweight championship is going to go away and they're going to give it to either to Jones or Gustafsson, or are you okay with that?
It sucks. I mean, but I understand that the promotion has to move on. The beauty of it was that they told me that, hey, if you give up the belt, we understand getting stripped sucks, but we got to continue forward. But if you do go back to 205, you get the next title fight. There's no question about it. So, I mean, that's a pretty good contingency that I could step right. If I did go back down, I'd just be fighting for my belt again. And, there are things privately that are discussed that makes you feel pretty good about the way things work in terms of fight pay, everything else. That just because the belt's getting taken doesn't mean everything's changing if I was to go back down and fight for a light heavyweight title.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's probably, and again, it's a business too. There's more money for you probably at heavyweight because there's still that Brock fight waiting or a Stipe rematch if they want to do it.
Well, the thing is, like, the Brock fight is waiting. The Stipe rematch is very intriguing because I respect him as a competitor. The reality is, Stipe has gotten so much love, Matt, lately that I never knew people loved him so much, right? You're ducking him. I'm like, guys, you guys kind of punished him. They're like, whoa. I was like, because you didn't buy the pay-per-view. You didn't buy the pay-per-view, so you punished him. Right. But now all of a sudden, you guys going, give him a rematch. I'm like, well, where were you in July? You buy the pay-per-view, right? Then it's easier to wrap your mind around the rematch, especially when you got Lesnar or Jones on the horizon where you know it's going to sell. So, it's a very different scenario right now.
Sometimes with Derrick Lewis, sometimes I think he's like trolling us. Like when he says the 30-minute workout thing, I'm like, but then I remember seeing him eating a plate of food with his gloves on an hour before because he says it gives him energy. So I don't know if he's trolling us.
I think.
What do you think's going on here,
Matt? I think he does more than he's putting on.
I do. So
I really do.
I believe so too.
And I think he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Like when he's fighting Volkov, and he's like against the fence, covering his head he's done. I don't think he's always that hurt.
He's baiting them.
I think he's baiting guys because he knows if he can get you close enough, he'll try to hit you with a right hand. Look, these guys that he has fought are very, very talented fighters, mixed martial artists. But there's just a different level of fighting that I don't think he's experienced yet, and he's going to experience when he fights me.
I was surprised Volkov got as close as he did in the third, like at 11 seconds. It was almost like when Chael continued to go after Anderson Silva when he had won four rounds in a row. It's there's a certain time where it's like probably smarter to lay off.
Well, just kind of like know where you are. I mean, again, like it's essentially a Hail Mary, and I've said that to Derrick. I go, when you fight a guy like me, there are no Hail Marys. You don't. I'm not going to do anything dumb like that to give him the victory. He's going to have to earn it if he's going to beat me on Saturday.
You know what's great, too, about this, and I can relate, is your height matchup. His kryptonite might be his belly. I don't know if, I'm sure having my...
No, he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like when
He doesn't like body shots.
He doesn't like it. And as you know, from being in the game for so long and being around the sparring, there's certain guys that they could take a bat to the head. A bat to the head, Jimmy. Yeah. You hit him in the belly or the body, and it's a different story.
It's a different story.
Right or wrong. You've seen guys like that.
He doesn't respond well to that. Travis Brown hurt him bad to the body.
He almost shit his pants, he said.
Yeah. Volkov hurt him bad every time Volkov hurt him bad to the body.
Yeah.
Everybody... Mark Hunt, when he knocked him out, was a lot of body work. Started hitting. Once Mark Hunt realized that he could hurt him to the body, he kept going there, and then by the fourth round, Derrick was just done.
Now, will you avoid body shots knowing he doesn't care for them?
Oh no, I'm just gonna fight him everywhere. Honestly, like I'm gonna fight him everywhere, Jim. I mean, I have to beat up his legs, beat up his head, make him work. I just have to fight him everywhere. He's a big guy, though, so I need to wear on him.
And you're one of the nicest guys. I've interviewed you a few times, and everybody likes you. And then there was this thing where the fans were booing you, and then you just seem to have enough of it and begin to really talk more shit. And I love it. I mean, I think it's great. Did something change in you where you were just like, enough of this nonsense?
No, you know, if they want to boo you, just kind of steer into it, right? Like that's if your feelings are hurt, people will do stuff more because it's like you're showing them a weakness, their ability to get to you. It's like
if you're trying to win them over.
Yeah, you don't win me. You don't like me. Don't like me. I don't care.
But it's crazy though because I feel like people didn't like you, but now I feel everybody loves you.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
right or wrong?
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell happened? You didn't change.
Honestly, I think after Jones testing positive again, I think that really changed it because I'm the guy. I was crying in the octagon, and it's like, wow, this dude test positive again. This guy's crying, didn't get a fair shake. Maybe we're giving this guy a hard time.
I think that turned people too when they saw you crying, like because it was just like it's a real human moment, and it's like, wow, he really does care about winning and losing.
So
and it's
much
heartbreaking for him. It's like he's not a guy just looking for. I think it changed a lot of people.
I care so much about winning and losing. Like I care about this career. I care so much. Like it's not for me. It's hard to think that. Like I see guys sometimes lose, and to me, it's amazing that they can bounce back so quick. Because when I lose, it's bad, man. I mean, you guys got a glimpse of it every time I've lost. I mean, both times, First time getting in the back and crying to Velasquez and Rockhold, and then the last time crying in the cage. You know, it's like, and then I'm gone for a month or two because I'm trying to get myself back to some sort of life.
It's devastating for you.
It's devastating. Like, I put so much of myself into this deal. It's crazy.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I was going to say, how long does that last for? Like, there's guys like Forrest Griffin who had similar things. You've seen him, like, he actually broke down and sometimes he'd run out of the cage.
Yeah.
Against Silva,
but then, you know, you think he's wrecked for a long time. He says, and he said before, like, he gets that out of his system, like, an hour or two later, he's fine. And like he just has like a break, and then he gets over it fairly quickly. I don't. Something tells me, oh wow, a month.
Yeah, a month at least. Immediately.
So the next day, like you got your teammates who understand
and my kids and everything. Like,
what were your wife and kids like? What is for them? Like they know, okay, this is really hard. Is it we don't talk to dad for today, or is it to help to have them around?
It helps to have them around because they kind of like let you see what's truly important. Yeah. But it's like it's like I can go about my day a little bit until I'm like by myself. And then when I'm by myself, then everything comes back, right? Like, so after our loss in July last year, we left Anaheim. My manager drove me home because I didn't want to go in the airport. So we drove back up to NorCal, and I'm back in my house, and everybody's kind of like leaving me alone for a couple of days, and then they start to kind of come around, and then I do stuff with my family, but then people just try to stay around me because if I'm by myself, that's when shit gets really bad.
And you start to think about it and go through
everything. Keep going through the fight over and over again. You know, I'm like, God dang, you know, because even the last fight, you know, I'm like, man, things are going well. You know, I'm like, things are going well, and I felt good in there. My cardio felt sharp. Everything was landing, and we were fighting so back and forth, and like, how did I not see this kick? How did I miss this kick? Like, it's stuff like, if he's done this in our fights 25 times, how did I miss this kick? You know, it's like stuff like that. That stuff is what it tears me apart because then I'm just sitting there going, I've done this over and over and over, and I this shouldn't happen.
You felt it was avoidable, like, shit, I missed that
I just missed it. Like, I just really missed it.
As the competitor, is it better that he got popped for that? Does that make sense?
No.
Like, in other words, yeah, I know you got caught, but hey, dude, if it's not a level playing field, it's not a level fucking playing field.
No,
so
I understand.
I would be extremely bitter because it's almost that you don't know if you would have still got caught.
My whole thing is like, I just think that our whole rivalry has been like mirrored in controversy from the first fight with the bad test results and the test levels all jacked to the cocaine failure, to the second fight getting canceled because of drug maskers, to the third fight getting overturned because of that. You know, it's like everything's been mirrored in controversy. So it's like, God, I wish it was just like not even losing. I've lost before. I've lost to guys before, and they just beat me. I lost to the Russian every time. I lost to the Iranian every time. I lost to Sanderson every time. I got over it because they just beat me. But it's like, if this wasn't like so wrapped in like bad stuff, it'll be easier to just move on. But the fact that it's just been like consumed by just so much negative makes it hard.
He said some nice things about you after that fight. How do you feel about him, or has your feelings for him changed at all?
I really have any feelings about him, and I don't need to. Like, everybody's not going to be your friend, or you don't have to have a great relationship with every person. Like, I don't need any type of relationship with Jones outside of me fighting him. That's it. That's all I need. I don't really care about anything else. The problem is, like, our careers are so intertwined, and that'll never change. But it's like, I don't really, like, I don't like the guy. It's never going to change, obviously. But, it's a number of things, you know? It's a number of things outside of our competitive rivalry. Just a number of things that make him and I not very good for each other. And that's fine, though. Like, there are people in this world that you aren't going to be okay with. And I'm fine with that.
Is it hard, too, because guys like, Dominic Cruz has been out for a while, and Paul Felder is now doing some announcing. You're great as an announcer.
Thank you.
Is it a little bit harder to motivate yourself in the gym when you're like, oh, shit? That's a much less painful gig.
It is. But, man, I love to fight. You know, I'm not stopping fighting because I can't compete. I think I could compete for another couple years if I wanted to. I just want to spend more time with my family and do more things in the area, you know, because I haven't seen my kids for almost 4 weeks, essentially, because I see them in passing. I go to the gym, come home, I sleep. I go to the gym. I don't really get to spend time with my wife, and it's just hard, you know. So we knew that this was a 10-year plan whenever I started, and we're in year 9, and it's getting close to the end, and I'm okay with that because I've made some good decisions in terms of my financial future and also with the things that I have on the burner coming up.